Hey folks, we had some pretty heavy storms last night. It broke out into thunder at one point and was pretty full on. Checked around how the drainage is done and it's held up well. That does mean, doesn't mean everything's completely to be left alone. There's some improvements that can be made over time, especially for your kind of March, April, when you get that constant heavy rain. But it's so far for this kind of stuff seems to be doing all right. I believe, touch wood. I'm actually going to touch wood at this. Touch wood. I believe that I've found a solution for the digger issue. Put that in place, and now just got to wait for things to cure off and to cool down. Some of it got a bit hot. So I'll wait and see on that one. See if it holds up. I think it just might. So yesterday I put the truck to some use and moved some logs around, and man, what a difference that is. When you're using the digger, you can curl like two decent sized logs and like maybe 3 smaller sized ones. You can curl them under the bucket and move them around, and that's 3 at a time, which isn't bad. But you can just chuck a load on the back of the truck, way easier. So I'm pleased about that. Updates on the family situation, because it does actually affect work. Everything's tickety boo. My daughter's home, wife's home, both daughters are home, and she's got a course of antibiotics to take, but do you know what, she's bright and bubbly, and I've left her playing with her friends today, so she's cool, she's hanging out and happy again. So just about to get sorted, but last night I watched the replay of the World Cup, and I just wanted to talk a bit about that. So if you haven't watched it yet, it'd be best to watch this video later on. So yeah, I'm just going to take a pop break, and can't remember whether I said, I think I did, that I wanted to talk about the World Cup last night or yesterday, as some of you might have watched it live. First thing was the thing about Emmeline Rago, and that's a shame. It's a shame that she's retiring, and however, the girl's had some surgery. She's currently in a wheelchair recovering. She's won a lot and she's been really successful, and you can kind of understand when she says that I don't want to risk injury anymore, and kind of my body's had enough, and that's fair enough. She's I don't know if she's qualified, but she's training to, or she might actually have finished, and she's anyway, she's going to be a physiotherapist, and I think that she's wanting to get back out with the teams and stay in the mountain biking world. So that's cool. That's good news. Staying with the ladies, Pom Pom. You can't, I'm hoping you've seen it by now. But Pom Pom's run was ace. It was. I mean, considering she's just coming back from a shoulder injury, and she had bone grafts on her shoulder, and I can't imagine that's going to be comfortable. But she's back on form, and she was really letting it loose and letting it hang out, and she went fast. And I think we have to say that for Valnord, Andorra, that's where Commensal are based, and she's in a strong position to do quite well at Worlds. However, and you've got Rachel. I mean, what do you say about her? She's quick, and powerful. And I know she was saying when she got to the bottom, that her arms were goosed, and that track is notorious for that. But so were the guys, It's, the guys were getting to the bottom and saying that their arms were gone as well, and their hands were goosed. So, everybody felt it. But when you watch her coming down, And if you can be objective about it and think, well, how quick could I go through that section? Personally, I wouldn't be able to touch her. Wouldn't even get close to her. She's just super quick, and it's great to watch. And it's, you know, the whole women's side of the sport. Obviously, we've got some issues at the moment. There's problems with the amount of juniors that are coming through, and you know, Rachel. Well, as far as the BDS goes, there's the junior category in there that Rachel sponsors, and it's getting some support from the BDS. But there's just, I don't know whether it's numbers or lack of numbers across the world, but there isn't enough female riders there to put a junior category into the World Cups, which is a real shame, because you know, the men's have got juniors and great riders come up through those ranks, and the training that they must get. For example, Loris Vergier, look how quick he is. He's come straight out of the juniors and he's really pinning some times down with the men, and it just seems a real shame that the women aren't getting an opportunity to do that, and it kind of, it feels like they're being sort of strangled and stifled because of that. And I know it's probably numbers, and there's, you know, I would imagine there's some bureaucracy in amongst it as well. And yes, our numbers in Britain are pretty good. Could be better, but they're all right. And I don't know the situation across the world, but if we could all get into the mentality of backing women in our sport, just everything would be so much better. So anyway, mentioning Loris, onto the thoughts on the men's race. First of all, it was a shame to see Petey crashing out. Wooden sections with chicken wire in a World Cup course. I would imagine there's a lot of people out there who've got a lot of opinion on that, and as a builder, I suppose I kind of have to be careful what I say about that, and I don't want to be critical of other people. Suffice to say, chicken wire on wooden features on fast sections on corners, it isn't something that I'm looking to do here. And if any of you watched any of the practice footage as well, there was absolutely no way that it was just Petey who was, you know, coming back from injury and coming back to riding World Cup downhill tracks. Oh well, is it just because Petey wasn't quite on form? No chance. There was tons of crashes on there. It was just unfortunate that the legend himself, I think it was on the inside of it, when you see the crash, I think it was on the inside of his leg, had stitches and nasty. But the men's race, one of the standout things obviously was GNAR crashing, and that's not a common thing. But in fairness, he had to push, didn't he? I mean, and that's not his game, is it? But he knew right from the get-go, I've got to smash this down. I need to come first, and you know, pushing that hard. It happens to any of us, and we've all experienced it, haven't we? Where we think, right, let's give it some here, and you know, just get caught out. And it's a shame. It's a shame, because he's such a good rider, and I felt like he was kind of forced to take a strategy that's not his, and it's not something that he uses. So that's tricky in itself. Lloyd Bruni, second again. Good grief, lad. I mean, that's hard, isn't it? Nightmare. But you get to the point where you're just like, oh, this. You really feel for him. Brooke McDonald. Dislocating your kneecap, and then coming down Val de Sol that quickly. I think Rob Warner said something about him drinking a pint of concrete for breakfast. A great Warner line. But yeah, what a he was a badass, isn't he? He's got to be a tough dude for that, because he really nailed it. And in the interview, he's like,
Yeah, my knee was starting to feel a bit sore towards the bottom, but I was alright, I hung on. Full on badass. And then, you know, Gwyn, I've said it before in other kind of comments about this. I make these videos because it's my favourite sport, and let's say, let's compare it to football, right? So if you watched a really good football match, and then you went into work the next day, you would, in general, be cracking to your mates who are into football about the match and talking about it. I just happen to be in a position where I don't have anyone to talk to. I just happen to be in a position where it's just me on my own, so I don't get to like get it off my chest, my feelings about it. So that's why I make these World Cup videos. But Aaron Gwyn, I mean, congratulations for the start. Wow. He didn't have to attack it. He didn't know. I don't think I read some stuff about it last night, and I don't think he knew that Greg had crashed. But he went at it hard, didn't he? And I was like, this is mental. The guy's really nailing it. And it was yet another run from Gwyn. And I think this will, in future, I think this will come out, unless he surpasses it. But in future, I think this will be looked back at some of Gwyn's runs this season, where he's just lightning quick over terrain, and especially Val de Sol, Monson and 2, because that's a tricky track. But Val de Sol, we watched the race and saw the track and saw how difficult it is and challenging, and to nail it that hard was something else. But then you've got Troy Brosnan, who was up on him, who had him at some point, and then did one of the things that we all hate to do, and bang your hand on a tree. I think he's broken his finger, if I'm correct. He might not have, but he's bashed it anyway. It looks sore. But yeah, man, everyone hates doing that. Smashing your hand on a tree sucks. So it's no wonder that he's run where he was up on Gwyn then went to pot, because people were complaining about being able to hold on in the first place, and if you smash your hand, you've got no chance, have you? So all in all, a really exciting race. I really enjoyed it, and I may even. I mean, it's sad that it's coming to the end now. There is world champs left, but it's sad that the season's come to an end. But I may go back. That might be one of the ones that I go back over the winter and watch again. I don't know if you guys do this. Let me know if you do. But when the season's done and during the winter months, I sometimes go back and watch the whole 2-hour replay again. If it's an evening where I just want to chill out, even though I know the results and everything, it's good to watch it a second time sometimes and just watch the lines that people take and the bike handling skills that they've got. So cool. Well, anyway, drink a pop, and I've left my matty down the other side, so we'll go and get that in a sec. So I figured that, hang on, one second. Right. So having had a bit of a look around what the rain's done, there is a couple of places that I'll probably put extra drainage in, rather than modify what I've got, because what I've got worked pretty well. So just put some extra pieces in. So the real smart thing to do would be to use the digger for that. So
I'm going to wait for my repair to show itself on the digger and decide whether that's going to do the trick or not. So for now, the next job that I need to do is to move some logs. Now, I don't know how strong I'm feeling today, but it's lugging things around. But yeah, that's what's on the agenda. So we'll get some logs moved, and I've got the truck, so I might as well utilise it. For now, we'll just have a bit of musical motivation. I've got to show you this. It's Sunday today. I did have a lie in this morning, and I know it's been a bit of a funny week, and I think I'm back to maybe not full fitness, but I think I'm back to being good with my shoulder, and I need to move some logs. But I tried to move this one here, and I've failed. I can't pick that up. Let's try to move it over and like do the same as put end on end for this one, but for whatever reason that one is lying about its weight. Because man, it's meaty. Anyway, I've got one load, and we'll go from there. Right, so a few minutes ago I'm sweating because I worried myself a little bit. I didn't put the handbrake on properly on the truck, and it started to move back just ever so slightly, and in my head I was thinking of something else. I'm thinking, this might really hurt, and I had to click out of it and run in and pull the handbrake on. So I'm going to drop this load off, and I think I'm going to stop for a drink break. Good news. I've just found what, like 5 litres of hydraulic fluid in the back of the truck. Now, I do remember putting it there now, but yeah, I remember putting it there, but then I'd forgotten it was there and just spotted it, so that's great. There's a reason to be cheerful, because I'll need that tomorrow. I've just had a look at the repair that I've done, and I don't know how soon that you're allowed to say, oh, it might work, you know, without jinxing yourself. But you know, it's looking good. Should be all right. So anyway, let's crack on and get the last of these logs done. So it's starting to think about getting dark now. End of the day. I had a good day today. One of the things in here is there's so many jobs to be getting on with. I mean, part of it obviously was fixing and repairing the digger, but then while that's setting and getting sorted, there's plenty of other things to do. So never short of stuff to crack on with. One thing that I did want to talk to you about is it's now time to start to look at bringing in sponsors. Now we've got a lot of opportunity in here for them to advertise and putting up banners and flags and things like that. And I've already contacted 1 or 2 people. Oh, one thing I should point out is when I say that, because you know I'm in control, this is my place, I will be making sure that this isn't going to turn into some sort of I don't know whether you guys have ever experienced it before, but sometimes when you get involved with places, they take your email address, and then all the people that sponsor that place hassle you with emails, and that's not what's going on here. And that, just the same as with the YouTube channel, that I'll never it's called monetizing it. Basically it means it's where you get all the annoying adverts at the start. It's not what I'm about, and it's not what we're doing here. But as far as banners and flags and demo days and sponsors getting involved, there's lots of opportunity for them, and there's lots of opportunity then for me to use any income that comes through sponsorship just to further improve this place. And you know, that it can only be a win-win situation. Now, as I say, that I have begun contacting people, not many as yet, but I'm kind of, as you know, it's been a busy week. But there is one company, and it's actually a local company, who I am going to be working with, and I got an email off the owner of that company last night, and it's been something that I've been really looking forward to being able to talk to you about for a while now. But I got an email off them, and the product is now in the country, and it's going to be winging its way to me shortly. So I'm really looking forward to talking to you about that, and it's quite a major thing for GNAR Bike Park, and hopefully everybody involved will be able to get the benefit from it. So that's cool. So it's also now time to talk to other potential sponsors as well and bring them on board. So all in all, not the greatest week, obviously, people going into hospital and stuff like that, but it's been a good day. I'm pleased I managed to find a fix for the digger. It turns out there was no chance of getting a new part for it. I contacted people yesterday, and they all just kind of said, you're joking, aren't you? It's ancient, and it was imported from Japan, so you're not looking at holding out much hope for that one. So anyway, there's a fix in place, and we're going to see how that turns out. Fingers crossed. So looking forward to the World Champs now, and looking forward to getting back in here tomorrow, to be honest with you, and cracking on with some more stuff. So I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you very much for your time, and thanks very much for your interaction, and it's just really cool that you're all on board, to be honest. And it certainly helps out in those situations where you just need to be able, sometimes you need to be able to share what's going on in your life. Very cool. So guys, thanks very much. As I say, hope you've had a great weekend, and I hope the week ahead's brilliant for you. See you in a bit.